25 years ago, the Chemical Weapons Convention entered into force with one purpose: to put an end to and eliminate chemical weapons once and for all. Today, it is the global norm against chemical weapons. Since 1997, over 99% of chemical weapons stockpiles declared have been verifiably destroyed. Yet, chemical weapons remain one of the most serious threats to international peace and security. Despite the progress made, one state has signed but never ratified the convention, and that is Israel. Besides the Chemical Convention, Israel refuses to sign or ratify the Biological Weapons Convention, which currently has 183 state parties. Nevertheless, there is not much talk or criticism of Israel's position on chemical and biological weapons, let alone the tens of nuclear warheads that Israel already possesses. All the focus is on the alleged chemical attacks in Syria, where the OPCW investigations were compromised by state and non-state actors to point fingers at Damascus and create pretexts for military intervention or imposing deadlier unilateral sanctions against the country. Some may think that I'm exaggerating or being biased, but after numerous claims of chemical weapons use in Syria, the alleged Duma chemical attack in 2018 marked the first time that an OPCW fact-finding mission deployed on site to conduct its own investigation, and the findings of the investigators and experts were compromised by the OPCW administration, and important conclusions were taken off the final report to accuse Damascus of using chemical weapons. This unproven allegation has led to tripartite aggression on Syria by the US, the UK, and France, and the illegal attack went unpunished after more than 4 years to the attack. This week, however, Joseph Borrell, the High Representative of the Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, posted a statement remembering the victims of chemical attacks in Syria and vowing to continue supporting the OPCW in implementing the Chemical Weapons Convention independently and impartially, but not on Israel. The European Union reiterates its strong condemnation of the use of chemical weapons by the Syrian Arab Republic and its failure to respect its international obligations under the convention, as substantiated through comprehensive and true investigations carried out by the United Nations and the OPCW, the EU statement said. Coincidentally, the White Helmets organization, which staged the scene for the alleged chemical attack in Duma, was invited this week by the European Union to contribute to a meeting on the sidelines of the OPCW's conference of the state parties. Nothing fishy or suspicious about it at all, right? Since the OPCW is no longer sending its own staff to Syria because the last time they went to an Islamist-held area in 2014, a roadside bomb hit the OPCW's 4-vehicle convoy and the freedom fighters opened fire and briefly kidnapped the inspectors. Again, nothing fishy or suspicious about it at all, right? Anyway, the OPCW tasked its duties to non-governmental organizations operating in Islamist-held areas, such as the White Helmets, which carried out many of the OPCW's tasks, such as identifying sampling locations, collecting and tagging the samples, gathering video and photo evidence, and in some cases selecting witnesses for interview. The OPCW didn't care less about the White Helmets' biases or its embedment with Al-Qaeda and other terrorist groups, and asked them to travel to Turkey and hand over the collected materials to OPCW staffers working from the hotels. In this regard, investigative journalist Aaron Mate pointed out that the workaround violated the OPCW's core protocol for chemical weapons probes. To ensure full confidence in the integrity of samples gathered for chemical analysis, the OPCW requires that physical evidence collected strictly ensures a chain of custody. This means that OPCW inspectors must have complete control of samples from the time that they are gathered at the site of an alleged chemical attack until they are delivered to international forensic laboratories for analysis. The OPCW's documented procedures are unequivocal about this. If a sample was not under OPCW custody at any point during a mission, OPCW policy states it will not be accepted for OPCW verification purposes. The OPCW's chain of custody requirements is so stringent that any inspector who is not specifically assigned for evidence-related tasks is not allowed to deal with any item linked to an investigation site. As noted by Mate, the OPCW gave the White Helmets and the material it collected a full upgrade in 2017. Fact-finding mission reports now refer to White Helmets operatives as the Chemical Sample Unit. Though no chain of custody had been established, the samples furnished by the White Helmets were suddenly treated as primary evidence. For example, in April 2017, Islamist militants in the Al-Qaeda-held town of Khan Sheikhoun accused the Syrian army of dropping a sarin bomb and killing over 80 people. The White Helmets quickly rushed to the scene and publicized the Islamists' allegation by posting photos and videos for victims allegedly suffering from nerve agent exposure. Unsurprisingly though, the United States endorsed Al-Qaeda's claim and launched airstrikes on the Al-Shairat airbase from which the alleged sarin bomb was launched. Until this moment, no one poses this logical question: if the airbase had storage of chemical weapons, wouldn't the American strikes cause gas leaks in the airbase and its surrounding towns? In the aftermath of the US bombing, the OPCW tasked the White Helmets to gather alleged evidence and bring them to Turkey, and the founder of the White Helmets, James Lemesurier, who was a former MI6 agent, has helped select witnesses. Doesn't sound fishy and suspicious at all, right? And although the entire chain of custody for the White Helmet samples couldn't be verified, the OPCW's fact-finding mission released a report in June 2017 and endorsed the stated pretext for the US airstrikes by concluding that sarin gas was used as a weapon in Khan Sheikhoun. Now let's go back to the statement of Joseph Borrell. The Syrian Ministry of Foreign Affairs slammed Borrell over accusations of using chemical weapons and said in a statement, "Western states and representatives of the EU went too far in misleading the international community over the alleged use of chemical weapons in Syria and Russia." The ministry further said that Borrell's statements are specifically intended to defame the reputation of the two countries for the benefit of the West's colonial targets. Some EU members and other Western nations have themselves employed chemical weapons in several places across the world, the statement added. Syria reaffirms that it will not use and has never used such weapons, which were however used by terrorist groups and Western intelligence apparatuses. Syria also stresses it rejects the use of these weapons at any place and any time, the Foreign Ministry concluded. I've been your host, Georg Almasian of Syriana Analysis, and this was my report and analysis on the collusion between the OPCW and the White Helmets in regard to the alleged chemical attacks in Syria. Let me know your opinion in the comments below, and don't forget to like and share this video with your friends. And see you next time.